As the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. If you look at the companies that Jiahua Investment has invested in from a geographical perspective, you'll notice some interesting patterns. As mentioned earlier, Qiaqia food comes from Anhui. In fact, Anhui seems to have a special connection with Songxiangqian's Jiahua capital. Later on, Jiahua Capital invested in Babi Mantu, Laoxiangji, and Xiaocaiyuan, and neither the companies themselves or their founders also come from Anhui. Each of these four companies has its own unique characteristics, but their similarities are also quite obvious. All the founders are from Anhui, and they all received investment from Jiahua Capital, which was the sole investor in each case. They all belong to consumer sectors that were long overlooked, and they are all high-frequency, essential consumer brands. Anhui is also known as a major food province and boasts an outstanding business culture. Hui merchants combined business with Confucian culture, creating tremendous material wealth. Whether it's Shaojiang village or Shatsi Guazi, Anhui's prosperity has gone hand in hand with the dividends of reform and opening up, the market economy, and the hard-working spirit of Hui merchants. Chen Xianbao, the founder of Qiaqia Seeds, recognized the opportunity for upgrading sunflower seeds, seized the boom in packaged snacks, and quickly rose to prominence. By 2002, it had already become a well-known brand in China. Once, when Songxiangqian was on a business trip to Anhui, he happened to learn that Qiaqia was seeking financing, so he quickly seized the opportunity to visit Qiaqia. In 2011, the fourth year after the founding of Jiahua Capital, he invested in Qiaqia. At that time, very few consumer companies had primary market investment institutions knocking on their doors. In the year of Qiaqia's IPO, it raised nearly 1.5 billion yuan more than expected and was extremely favored by the secondary market. In October 2020, Babi Mantu successfully went public on the A-share market, and the media called it the first Baozi stock on the A-shares. In fact, Babi Mantu's products have long gone beyond just Baozi. Baozi is more of a reference to Babi Mantu's core breakfast scenario. Its IPO shocked a lot of people. Babi Mantu, the first Chinese steamed bun stock, was first listed on the A-share market. The difficulty for catering chain companies to be listed is obvious to all. For many years, the number of restaurant companies listed on the A-shares has always remained in the single digits. Secondly, selling baozi for breakfast is one of the most ordinary small businesses you see on the street. Being able to turn such a small business into a publicly listed company is truly intriguing. Hard work and perseverance are a given. Songxiangqian once described Babi Mantu's employees as some of the earliest risers in Shanghai every day, because they have to get ready to sell breakfast. According to public information, Babi Mantu's founder Lu Weiping doesn't have a high level of education, but he is extremely hardworking and resilient. His hometown, Jiangxin Town in Huaining County, Anhui Province, is known as the hometown of Chinese pastries, and at least 20 or 30,000 people from there are in the pastry business. To this day, Lu Weiping is running pastry businesses in many different regions. However, Babi Mantu has already embarked on the path of large-scale chain development. Currently, Babi Mantu mainly operates as a chain in the Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai markets, while also expanding into other areas. This is also, in retrospect, considered the reason why Babi Mantu was able to grow and go public. By opening stores and operating in the economically developed Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai regions, competing alongside many domestic and international chain brands, they were able to prove the replicability and growth potential of their business model. Songxiangqian believes that many people have overlooked the potential of the mass consumer market. In a big city like Shanghai, if there are 5 million people dining out for breakfast, if each person spends 4 or 5 yuan, even a 10 yuan breakfast isn't considered expensive. That adds up to a net daily income of 20 to 40 million yuan. Great and enduring businesses are always built on products that are everywhere. Small products can achieve big accomplishments. Founder Lu Weiping came to Shanghai in 1998 with just 4,000 yuan, and after years of hard work and entrepreneurship, he succeeded and took the company public. Babi Mantu has been around for 17 years. Songxiangqian decided to invest in Babi Mantu. The founder was one factor, but even more important was that this business model fit the brand profile that Jiahua Capital pursues: high frequency, essential demand, a huge market, strong replicability, and growth potential. On December 20, 2024, Jiahua Capital's invested company Xiaocaiyuan was officially listed on the main board of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. This marks a new chapter in the standardization and modernization of the mass market, convenient Chinese dining industry, with Xiaocaiyuan as a representative. Similarly, compared to Babi Mantu, Xiaocaiyuan is a company with even more of a grassroots flavor. Founded in 2013 in Toling, Anhui, the company has only been around for just over a decade. To this day, Xiaocaiyuan's headquarters are still in Tongling. From an investment perspective, since 2023, Qiaqia Capital has invested 500 million renminbi in Xiaocaiyuan in 2 consecutive rounds, becoming the only external institutional shareholder before Xiaocaiyuan goes public. Qiaqia Capital believes that Xiaocaiyuan has seized a structural opportunity in Chinese-style dining by offering affordable, high-quality products and services to meet the everyday dining needs of the general public. By continuously improving the standardization and digitalization of its operations, it has strengthened its supply chain capabilities and built a competitive advantage. The investment in Xiaocaiyuan is also a true reflection of Qiaqia Capital's commitment to investing in essential, high-frequency, and livelihood-related consumer sectors, getting closer to everyday life and empowering ordinary people, which is at the core of their investment philosophy. A Xiaocaiyuan restaurant with a unique bone ash porridge vibe. In fact, investing in Xiaocaiyuan requires a deep understanding of the affordable dining market before one can confidently make a move. Wang Shugao, chairman and founder of Xiaocaiyuan, stated that Xiaocaiyuan will never do franchising. If you only focus on growth, then many people might not see Xiaocaiyuan as a good investment target. Because in terms of scale, the industry generally believes that franchising leads to faster development. Regarding investment philosophy, Songxiangqian once said that investing essentially comes down to 2 things. First, buying liquidity. Liquidity must be good enough, no matter how big a company gets. If there's no liquidity, once you're in, you can't get out. You have to buy growth. At its core, investment is about long-term thinking. Whether you like it or not, once you're in, you can't get out in the short term, so you have to grow together with the company, building and winning together. It's clear that Qiaqia Capital also values growth. When it comes to the Xiaocaiyuan case specifically, it actually has some counterintuitive characteristics. Even though it operates through cell-phone stores, Xiaocaiyuan, with its many locations, is already the largest full-service restaurant chain in China. In other words, in the full-service restaurant sector, direct ownership hasn't hindered Xiaocaiyuan's ability to expand. And if you look deeper, you'll find that Xiaocaiyuan has very strong supply chain control. With its own independent and manageable supply chain system, this is also one of the cornerstones of Xiaocaiyuan. In addition, Xiaocaiyuan focuses on affordable dining. Compared to group dining where the average per person can easily exceed 100 yuan, Xiaocaiyuan sticks to its delicious but not expensive positioning, which also aligns with Qiaqia Capital's philosophy of serving the mass market. Compared to Babi Mantu and Xiaocaiyuan, in recent years, thanks to its owner Xu Songshuan's internet savvy that seems beyond his years, Laoxiangji has frequently gone viral and has even more of an internet celebrity vibe. However, Laoxiangji is also a mass-market Chinese fast food chain, and it places a strong emphasis on building its supply chain. There are always crowds of people lining up in front of Laoxiangji stores. The 4 companies invested in by Qiaqia Capital, Qiaqia, Babi, Laoxiangji, and Xiaocaiyuan, all come from Anhui. While this might seem like a coincidence, there's actually a certain inevitability to it. First of all, the food and restaurant industry is one that requires hard work and diligence. People who can't endure hardship or aren't hardworking simply can't make it. Secondly, self-made entrepreneurs tend to be pragmatic and focus on mastering the fundamentals of their industry, striving for excellence. For example, they all place great importance on building their supply chains. Whether it's consumer goods or restaurants, you have to pay attention to your products and maintain a balance between the front-end stores and the back-end logistics and supply chain support systems. Lastly, these 4 companies are actually very down-to-earth and unpretentious. Some might even say they seem a bit old-fashioned by today's standards. During the pandemic, Xu Songxiangqian, the founder of Laoxiangji, spoke in his Anhui dialect and was so moved that he tore up the joint letter covered with employees' fingerprints. A rustic press conference that cost only 200 yuan managed to restore confidence in the restaurant industry in the most difficult times, using an entertaining approach. Chinese fast food is a major category in the restaurant industry, and rice-based meals are in even higher demand than regionally distinctive noodles. This kind of rustic authenticity seems to be exactly what Qiaqia Capital is looking for. In an interview, Songxiangqian once said, "I don't believe in celebrity entrepreneurs. This is an era where you earn money through hard work." He bluntly stated that so-called celebrity entrepreneurs are just playing the traffic game, creating a star, creating a business model, creating a trend, and then everyone piles in. That's just a way to arbitrage. That's why you see rounds A, B, C, D, E, and F in the market. Whenever there are multiple rounds of financing, it's hard to even go public now. At the very least, it's a huge hassle. It's troublesome for the entrepreneurs, and it's troublesome for the later stage investors. That's why, in most cases, we either invest exclusively or we don't do it at all. When it comes to investing in consumer projects, Qiaqia Capital doesn't chase after celebrities. Instead, they pursue what Songxiangqian calls a sense of everyday life. What does a sense of everyday life mean? One very natural example is when you go home for a family meal during the new year. No matter what role you play outside, at home you're just a son, a daughter, or a friend. There's no need to put on a front or pretend to be someone you're not. Brands and business models that grow out of this kind of environment, ones that are down to earth, actually feel more genuine and trustworthy. So, the fact that Qiaqia holds the 4 heavenly kings of Anhui's food industry and has been able to invest in so many leading companies, becoming the top player in consumer investment, is no coincidence. In addition to the previously mentioned firsts, Qiaqia Sunflower Seeds is the top nut and roasted seeds company, Babi Mantu is the leading breakfast brand, Qiaqia Soy Sauce is the first in soy sauce, Laoxiangji is the top leisure snack brand, ORG Packaging is the leading metal packaging company, Amra is the top underwear brand, and Dongpeng Special Drink is the first in functional beverages. These are all well-known leading Chinese brands that Qiaqia has brought together. On one hand, they focus on essential, high-frequency consumer needs, which form the foundation of consumption in China. On the other hand, Qiaqia Capital doesn't just value a brand's influence on end consumers, they pay even more attention to the brand's industrial capabilities behind the scenes, whether the company can enhance its strengths in areas like products, distribution channels, and supply chain, thereby advancing the industrialization process of that particular market segment or product category. From the chain expansion of Babi Mantu to Dongpeng Beverage reshaping the competitive landscape of the energy drink industry, Qiaqia is not just investing in companies, they are driving the modernization of the industry chain through capital and resources, working together with businesses to redefine industry rules. Whether it's promoting the industrial upgrading of consumer goods or using a unique investment strategy to avoid market bubbles, they have not only succeeded in the current market, but have also secured a winning position for the future. This keen insight into industry development and ability to drive change is exactly what makes Songxiangqian the top player in the consumer investment sector.